Hello everyone and welcome back to 13 Minutes, a platform that's aimed at telling inspiring, uplifting and motivating stories from people all across the globe. I am super excited to announce that today I am here with Jess Large from Bonnie and Harlo, and we're going to talk about how this woman grew her business from making headbands in a spare bedroom to now having a warehouse here in Coolum Beach on the Sunshine Coast. So thank you, Jess, for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Now let's go right back to the beginning. How did Bonnie and Harlo begin?
So I was on maternity leave from work. I'd already had 2 kids and I had my 3rd baby, which was a baby girl. And after having 2 boys, that was a bit exciting. And it was Easter time around this time 4 years ago, and I decided I wanted to make some special headbands for her that looked like a bunny, because who doesn't like dressing up a kid? So I created these boho bunny ears, and at the time I had a small Instagram following on a page that I just like to share fashion because shopaholic, and my friends suggested that I sold them. I made 1 pair for Bonnie and they said, oh, you should sell these, and I said okay, and I put them on my Instagram page, and I think that first month of March I sold 30 of them. So I was like super stoked, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
And then you went from bunny ears to bows?
Yep, so then I started, I would go shopping for like offcuts of leather. Like at the start I did genuine leather too, so I'd get offcuts of genuine leather and I'd cut them up into, I drew a template and I would hand cut them. I'd trace around the template, hand cut them and glue them all together onto a headband and put them on like a backing card, and then I sold those too. Yeah.
And at what point did it go from selling bows to then looking at children's clothes?
I think I've always loved the fashion industry, and I grew up with my mum having her own kids clothing label, so I think it just came naturally as well. I don't know, I love being creative, and yeah, it just kind of went from accessories only to adding in the clothing as well, and now I would say we do more clothing than we do accessories, but we like to keep both. I say we, but I mean just me.
Just you.
Just me.
Which is a one-man show.
Yeah.
So you do have 2 employees now, which is really exciting. That's happened in the last 6 months?
Yeah. So I had 1 employee start when we moved into this warehouse September last year, and at the start of this year I just employed 2 girls.
And I was just saying to Jess earlier, she has an Instagram following of more than 90,000 people. The Suncorp Stadium fits 52,000 people. So how does it feel knowing that, you know, you have more eyes watching you than a footy game?
It's so funny because I totally don't look at it. And I don't see it as that, I guess. Probably because I really like what I do, and I would do this no matter if there was 100 people or 100,000 people, I guess. I like doing this. This is what I like. And I think if you like and love what you do, you would do it anyway, no matter what, yeah. But bonus for me is that I got to stay home with my kids when I could, and now my full-time job is this, and I'm really lucky that I don't have to go to a normal work and I can work around with my kids, but I still get to provide the income that we need for a 5-person family. And
would you say you're constantly trying to keep ahead of the trends, or are you setting the trends for children clothing on the Sunshine Coast?
Oh gosh. I like to design to what I would put Bonnie in myself. So yeah, our clothing ranges from newborns to 4-year-olds, and Bonnie's 4, and next year she'll be 5 and off to school, so I'm not sure what will happen, but I don't think I'm going to go any bigger, so I'll have to look at not her having her as my inspiration, I guess. Although, like, I mostly just design for what I like and wear, and what I would put on Bonnie. I like girly classical styles, so designs that have been around forever really appeal to me, all the retro styles and the vintage patterns. So I just keep to that. That's me. I don't pink and cream is kind of my thing, so we don't really go away from that much. Spring, summer, I'm going to introduce a blue, which is like a big deal to me, but we'll see.
And you touch on boys' clothing as well?
Yeah, so I only just added the Wildlings collection last month, so that's just our kind of just testing the waters to see. I do have 2 boys, so prior to having girls, so people think it's odd that I didn't do boys wear to start with. But I find boys wear a lot trickier than girls wear, because boys, they wear shorts and shirts. That's pretty much what they do, and you know that from a baby boy to a full grown man. That's what they wear. So yeah, I find it really hard to design boys clothes, and I don't know, girls, I don't know, everyone thinks girls clothes are more fun too. Yeah.
Do Tyler and Nixon ever get jealous that they don't have
No.
a brand named after
No,
them?
because they're boys and boys don't care. Boys totally don't care. No, my kids, Nixon, he's small for his age, so even though he's 7 and my range only goes up to, I do size 5 in the boys wear, and he got to wear the boys corduroy shorts and the boys tee, and when I brought it home for him to try on the samples, he was like, "What? For me?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he was really excited. But I don't think my eldest would have had the same reaction. Nixie's just special.
And you were saying to me earlier, you've kind of really grown a lot over the past year. So you've been doing it 4 years now.
Yeah.
You hit 50,000 followers last year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure last year, it could have been the year before, don't quote me, but yeah, it seems like the first 50 is kind of like a steady growth, and then the next lot has just came really fast. I have been lucky enough to have some really big influencers, Instagram influencers. Recently, like an American one contacted me, and she's shared a couple of times, and I think she has like 2 million followers. So, like, you know, getting into something like that kind of helps.
Helps grow.
Yeah.
And how important is it to you to stay authentic on Instagram?
Well, I don't think, to me, like I said before, the number doesn't really mean anything. I have to provide for my family, so as long as I can do that every day, then I'm okay. I'm not out to make millions of dollars or be Instagram famous. I just need to provide an income so that I can feed my kids every week. So yeah, I think on Instagram people are in it for different reasons, and everyone has their own reasons. For me, yeah, we're a 5 family, like 2 adults and 3 kids family, and both parents have to work, so that's my job, to make sure they've got clothes on their back and fed and go to school.
And so Bonnie and Harlo is just purely yours. Your husband doesn't come and
Oh gosh, no.
give an opinion or anything like that?
No. My husband, no, he's not. He did help with the warehouse, like build stuff for me and things like that. But mostly no. Like it's just yeah. We both have our own jobs.
And how was that moment when you walked into this warehouse and you're like, I did this?
Oh wow, I don't even look at it like that, which is so funny.
Because it was just in your house, but prior to that, you were just packing.
Yeah, so I had it in our old house. It was just in like a spare, like we had a media room that we didn't have a TV for, so we just had nothing in there kind of thing. So it was just in the media room. And then we moved house. And we moved to a house that has no built-ins and no like extra areas, literally 3-bedroom, a dining room and a living room. So there was pretty much no space for the work stuff. And I took over the whole dining room, and we didn't have a dining room inside. We put our dining table outside on the deck, and it got so full that I couldn't work in it. So that was kind of the point where I was like, okay, I need to think of something else to do, because we really liked that house. So, and I originally got a warehouse at the Big Green Shed. I don't know if you know that, but there's this place called Big Green Shed in Coolum. Anyway, it's like a bunch of little sheds. And I went halves with another brand, and we stayed there for 6 months, and we both outgrew that space. So in a short amount of time, that was kind of a big deal, growing out of space in 6 months. So yeah, and then I moved to this, and I live around the corner, which is really good for no traffic on the way to work.
And you kind of mentioned, you collaborated with another brand. Have you like created a real community through Instagram and Bonnie and Harlo? Do you feel like you've
I hope so. Like I like to share. I'm a bit of a shopaholic, so Bonnie doesn't just wear my brand. I purchase from other small brands as well, and I look up to other Instagram businesses as well. Other mums that are doing the same thing, and I try to support everyone. And I'm a total shopaholic, so Bonnie's clothes are outrageously full, and also my own. So, yeah.
And what advice would you have to a mum or any woman that's thinking about maybe starting their own business? What would you say to them?
I would say just start and don't look at the numbers. And if you work hard, and when I say work hard, I mean you have to work at it every day. It's not something that I think you can go into it two ways, and if it's just a hobby, it's just a hobby. It's not going to provide for your family. But if you need to provide for your family, work at it every day. Like, put on 110% every day. I don't mean like 10 hours a day. I mean 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's kind of like you don't sleep and you love it. But I think the other thing is only do it if you love it.
Not for the money.
Yeah, like it's got to be something that you really enjoy doing. Bonus, you get to help your family. Like, yeah, I think if you go in it for the wrong reasons, it probably doesn't work as well because you already went into it with the wrong reasons. I don't know. That's just my opinion, I guess.
And so do you take inspiration from anyone else, or it's purely just what you think will look good?
I think in the fashion industry, everyone is always looking at what's on trend anyway. So because America kind of sets the trends for each season because their season is before us. So you do look at like what are the Americans wearing. I think Australia's like that. We're just that one step behind. So it's great that they have spring summer before us. We can see what colours are going to be on trend. Pantone always lets us know what their colour of the year is as well. So you can kind of go off there. But most of the time I stick to pink and cream.
And a little bit of blue coming up.
A little bit of blue for spring summer, but yeah, like I mostly stay to the colours. It's so funny, my mum is a big pink fan, and growing up I'd be like, oh my god mum, so much pink, and I've totally turned into that. So pink obsessed, but yeah.
And you mentioned to me earlier, when you started Instagram just sharing fashion photos that you liked, it wasn't really a thing to do back then, was it?
No, yeah, when 4 years ago, Instagram was totally different to what it is today. There was no such thing as influencers and Instagram brands. It wasn't like a big deal. Yeah, and the photos that we shared were dodgy pics that we used the Instagram filter for. Like, you know, there was no professional photography there or these presets and edits that you do now, and you didn't have Insta stories where you rehearse what you were going to say beforehand, or it was totally like, it was instant. You took a picture and you posted it. It was totally different. And it's amazing how Instagram has changed, I guess, our lives in general, like as a social media thing, because Facebook was still around then. It was just like this new thing.
So 4 years ago you had no idea that Instagram would be like the core of your business.
No way.
That's exactly how you were going to make a living, is selling your items on Instagram.
And I probably, when I first started, didn't even think that. I was like, my friend just said to me, why don't you sell these? Like, I didn't think it was going to turn into something, but I already enjoyed Instagram for what it was, so I guess it was just a follow-on from that. Like, we're time up. Oh my god.
13 minutes up. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll have more content again soon.